Welcome to the step-by-step guide on adjusting the valve lash on a Briggs Stratton engine featured on this Toro lawnmower. Whether you're troubleshooting performance issues or doing routine maintenance, this adjustment is the key to keeping your engine running smoothly. Here's what you'll need: a feeler gauge, a socket set, a torque set and a spanner, and a clean and safe workplace. Always make sure that your engine is cool before you begin. Start by removing the engine cover to access the valve area. In order to rotate the engine, we need to take the top cover off. Remove the spark plug. Apologies, make that 3 bolts. Note the condition of the existing rubber gasket, and if it's badly perished, replace it if you have one available. In my case I didn't, so I'm just putting the old one back on for now. To be able to rotate the engine, you need to lock back the linkage. I generally use a clamp of some description to do this. The exhaust rocker sits on the top and the intake rocker sits on the bottom. Both are seated on top of the valve and the valve springs. On the bottom we have 2 push rods, and these get moved by the camshaft inside the engine. These valve covers are extremely loose, so I'm going to reset both of them and adjust them down to the proper tolerances. To do that, I'll actually remove the spark plug, we'll get it to the top of the cylinder, and we'll start resetting from there. First, we need to get the valves in the correct position. Rotate the engine so both valves are in the slack position. This slack is known as the valve lash, or the tolerance that you want to adjust. Place an object into the engine through the spark plug hole and revolve or rotate the engine so you can feel the position of the pistons. Best to use a chopstick or a similar dial so you don't damage the engine. As you rotate the engine, the pistons will rise and fall. As you reach the top of the arc, this is known as the top dead centre. Move just past this point, approximately 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters. Feel both rockers, and if you can move both by hand, you're in the right place. If one is still tight, repeat the process. The rocker arms are held in place with a hex nut, and adjustments are made using the torque screw to make the adjustments. You hold the hex nut in place using a wrench and loosen the torque screw. After loosening, the nut is free and we can make adjustments to either tighten or loosen the hex nut. Use a feeler gauge to set the gap between the rocker and the top of the valve. You'll need to check with your manufacturer for your engine specifications, as sometimes the intake and the exhaust can be different. Make sure the valve clearances are tight. With the torque screw loose, tighten the hex nut until we get to where we want. Hold the hex nut and tighten the torque screw to hold everything in place. Now remove the feeler and check it again. If it's too tight or too loose, then repeat until you're satisfied that the gap is correct. The feeler should be tight, but not so tight that it can't be removed. Now repeat the process for the other valve. And you've just adjusted your valves. This rubber gasket has seen better days, but unfortunately I don't have a replacement at the moment. Now clean off around your engine so that you can check for any leaks. That engine is sounding much better. At the end of the day, this appears to be what the problem was. Settings on the valves, someone has obviously adjusted them and it has been done incorrectly. By the simple resetting these valves, the motor is running much smoother. So we'll give this engine a run. We'll keep an eye on it over the next couple of runs. Well, there you have it. At the end of the day, something as simple as adjusting the valves was all that it took to get this little more running the way that it should be. Obviously someone has had to play with it, but thankfully we've managed to resolve it. The engine's running smoothly now. We get into the long grass. It's cutting through the long grass without any issues. There's no big problems with it blowing smoke anymore. So all in all, I think it's the job well done. Hope you like what you see. If you do like it, please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content of this kind.